When you get dunked on like that, you really ought to consider retirement.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
Welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast from three guys who talked sports together over lunch for over 10 years, probably eating a Fudgy the Whale.
Hey everybody, welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast, episode number 49. We're almost at 50, guys. What do you think? What's going on? Alex Shanley from Rumson, New Jersey. How are you, Alex?
I'm good. It's like the penultimate episode, right? Before 50. And then what happens? We're going to see.
I don't
Maybe
know.
We'll have a big announcement.
Maybe that could be our last episode or beginning of a long run. You never know.
Exactly.
The Nielsen ratings are coming through. And we also have, from Parts Unknown, we have Michael Pipersick. How are you, Mike?
Being that I'm from Parts Unknown, I'm a man without a country, so I'm going to start looking for a home.
Oh.
Yeah, does Parts Unknown have an Olympic team?
No, where was
Isn't that where the Russian athletes are now?
Yeah,
That's Siberia. The Siberia Olympic team.
Where are those Russian athletes from? It's like they have no flag, nothing.
Yeah, well, I guess you get caught cheating a bunch of times. That's
I think right now the only people from Parts Unknown are Mike, Rex, and Spot, the Moondogs.
I thought the missing link was from.
Yeah, the missing link too. I think maybe he's there too. Yeah. George the Animal Steel. I think they were all from Parts Unknown.
Yeah.
Interesting. They're all from some weird place called Parts Unknown. That's right, George.
What's the zip code in Parts Unknown?
I don't know. Yeah.
Is it like 00001?
Try sending a Christmas card to Mike. He gets our Christmas cards. I don't know how he gets them, but he does. So.
And the April Fool's pranks.
Yeah, there you go.
Great card. Bryan sent me an April Fool's prank that was a birthday card to some random family's birthday party, and my poor wife is looking at it flummoxed, and I'm like, this has all the hallmarks of Bryan Galloway. Not as good as the fish in my office.
Yeah, we have to have we probably should have an episode on best April Fool joke tricks. But for today, we have a couple different things we want to talk about, and one of them I really like this topic, and I think Alex came up with it, but I really like the topic, and let's talk about this. It's the retirement of player uniforms, right? I don't know, Alex, I don't know what you want to, I have so many different things I want to talk about this, but what were you thinking?
I think that's the thing, right? There's so many different things, and I think it's so subjective. And, I just see players retired. I'm like, they're retiring that guy's number. He didn't even play for that team for 4 years. And the genesis was, the Nets are going to retire Vince Carter's number. Yeah. And I'm like, what?
Why?
He played with him for like 4.5 years or something. And now it's almost like, teams that don't win anything, they retire numbers to get people in the stands for one game. It just seems silly to me. So that's what I thought of it. And I figured, we could banter around some guys and just talk about teams. Some teams, you go through it, they have tons of numbers retired, and then other teams have no numbers retired. So not only in basketball, but in the two I really looked at were basketball and football. Baseball, tons of retired numbers, and depending on team. But those are the two. I think. I don't know. For me, it was like baseball. You're with somebody for seasons after seasons, 162 games. There's a lot going on, but when you have half that in basketball and
let's talk. Okay, let's break it down. Okay, let's break it down. How we're going to do this? Again, we're all we're IT folks. Hold on. I want to know the criteria here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Just general
let's
criteria.
Break down the criteria. So I'll tell you mine, and let's go around the board. My criteria is this: One, the player plays for a very long time for the organization, a very long time, and I'm saying over 10 years, very long time, contributes to their success. You don't always have to win a championship. It does make a big difference. Like an Ernie Banks per se, he didn't have a chance to win it. He was on terrible teams, but he was there all the time. Okay, that's one thing. Or the person dies in an unexpected manner while they are at their stage of excellence for the team. So those are my two things where I could say you could retire a number, but it doesn't always happen that way, and there's some that are just baffling to me. So we could talk about that.
What about this, Brian? How good do you have to be? Like, do you need to be at least considered for the Hall of Fame? Do you need to be getting into the Hall of Fame for your criteria?
No, because each team's different, and there are some people like, for example, and this is a very interesting one to me. Ed Kranepool on the Mets, right? Number 7. He was number 7. He played like from the original time. He was an original player. Played on championship team and a couple like 2 World Series teams, I think. Was at the time of his retirement, he led most categories for their team. Not a Hall of Famer, never a Hall of Famer. Maybe made the All-Star team once or twice, if at all. But he was, at the time of his retirement, one of the greatest all-time Mets. But he also was there for a super long time during their horrible seasons and also when they got better. I think, and he played his whole career with the Mets, never went to another team. I don't know. Like, to me, that was one I said, well, he really should have his retired. Because they didn't have any players like that. Every team's different, Alex and Mike. Some teams have people that have longevity, and a lot of teams don't. And what we've seen in the trend in sports over the last 20 years is there's not that much longevity anymore. The Cal Ripkens and the players like that of the world, they don't happen very often. You don't see a guy playing 10 or 15 years with the same team. It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I that's why I think baseball is a little bit different because, like you said, Brian, if you play 10 years at 162 games a year, right? I mean, that's a lot of games that you are sitting, you're playing in front of an audience, that there becomes this love of the local guy. And, therefore it's almost like our own little Hall of Fame, right? And, the Mets didn't retire a lot of numbers. I mean, now with Steve Cohen, they're retiring a lot more, but they hadn't retired a lot of numbers. And, they just had the big guys, Seaver, but they just retired, I think, Gooden and.
But they deserved it. They should have been. I think those were good. If the Yankees had retired Strawberry's number, that wouldn't have worked.
I don't think Ed Kranepool's retired by the Mets, though.
No, he isn't. He should be.
Yeah, he's not.
He should. It's a big controversy. I hear that one a lot.
Be. Okay, you're saying.
I hear that a lot because people say that he should be. That's a very common thing. But let's look at let's look at the Phillies, and the Phillies are another interesting team. Mike Schmidt, is a no-brainer. He played his whole career, won a championship. Did they retire Greg Luzinski's? I don't know. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head.
No,
I can't imagine. Steve Carlton for sure, right?
Yeah,
but Steve Carlton didn't play his whole career with Philly.
I think that's okay though.
Yeah, I'm no. I mean,
the Phillies have Richie Ashburn, Jim Bunning, Mike Schmidt, Steve Carlton, Roy Halladay. Questionable.
Yeah, that one I don't know about. Roy Halladay, I don't know about that.
That's questionable.
Robin Roberts.
Yeah, those are all okay. The rest of them they're low legit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. That's not me. I mean, I kind of thought Luzinski deserved it, but I mean, again,
really,
he also did play for the White Sox for a while.
What about this one, Brian? This one blows my mind. Right? Yao Ming.
What?
His number is retired.
By what? The Chinese Basketball League?
No, by Houston.
By Houston?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
And that's I realized he changed the game, right? He brought in a whole country of people, right? And the dollars and the business. But is that why we're retiring numbers? Because you generated more money?
impact on the game, I guess, is how you could try to
Yeah.
justify that
But-
one. I don't buy that one
I
either.
don't buy that either.
Right.
I don't buy that
He
either.
played basically 7 years. That's
Now,
it.
now, should he be in the Basketball Hall of Fame? I would probably say yes.
For
This is
his
an interesting
impact
one
on the game,
because
right?
because he from what he did, the full basketball is a strange Hall of Fame because it's for the entire,
Right.
like, it's what you did for the impact of the game of basketball, not the NBA. So he deserves it. Yeah, I don't think he deserves his number being retired. Now let's look at the Knicks. Let's look at the Knicks. The Knicks have a lot, right? They have Walt Frazier, deserved.
Yep.
Willis Reed, deserved. DeBershire and Bradley, deserved. I can't say you can't do that. Dick Barnett is retired too, and I have to say at the time he was their best player for a long time. Like when they started getting great, he was getting older, so I can't say no to that. But now they have Ewing. But they didn't retire Carmelo's, did they?
No,
I hope not.
they can't
Okay,
do that. I think that is not.
no, I don't. I don't think so.
I don't think anybody should retire. I know Carmelo was very insulted that the Nuggets allowed Nikola Jokic to wear number 15. I don't think that the Nuggets should retire his number. I think he was implying that the Nuggets
He left.
should retire his
He
number.
left them.
Well,
Right.
it's
He
not
left
even
him.
that. It's just that how far did he take them to one Western Conference final? Maybe that's
Right.
not enough, in my opinion.
And like to me, he's a he's a compiler. He's
compiler.
a scorer. He
Yes.
he played one part of basketball really, really, really well.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
He didn't pass. He didn't play defense.
Yeah.
wasn't
he
a good teammate at all. He was a terrible teammate.
wasn't on any team for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well,
yeah.
I don't know that I'd put. I see that's where I think this really gets subjective because I agree that it's very odd that the Nets are retiring Vince Carter's number. That definitely made me scratch my head. But they retired Jason Kidd's number, and he played 7 years. And I
But
don't
he
have
got
an
him to
issue.
two finals. He got him to
Exactly
two
right.
finals.
I
Okay.
agree. That's why for me.
Now, who else did the Nets have? Do you have a list? I mean, sorry. Do you have a list of the Nets? Who
Yeah.
the Nets have retired?
Yeah.
Petrovic.
Let me just try to guess some. Let me just try. Okay. Buck Williams, right?
Yes,
Hold on.
you're correct.
Buck Williams. He's probably the greatest net as far as I'm concerned, long
Correct.
term. Okay. Did they have Dr. J retire because he was
Yes, they
from the
does.
net? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Super John Williamson.
Yes, you're
Okay.
correct.
Good. Okay. Bill Melchione.
Yes.
Okay.
I was at his
No, he was really
retirement
good.
ceremony, Brian.
Yeah, he was a really good player that people don't remember. He was a really good player.
Yeah.
At that point, I don't even know who else deserves it.
One falls into your criteria, passing away.
Yeah.
Oh, Petrovic.
Yep.
Only
Okay,
3
and he
years.
deserves it. Good.
Yeah, only 3 seasons.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you imagine if that poor guy had played a whole
Oh,
career, how great he would have
God,
been.
he was fantastic.
But they
right?
didn't do Coleman, right?
No, he should
And
not.
not Kenny Anderson. No, because they don't deserve it. No,
I agree. They do not deserve it. What did
But-
they win one playoff series?
not
right?
Jaminski.
But if Jason Kidd is on a team, and I'm not going to use the Lakers or the Celtics, but let's say Jason Kidd is on the Bulls,
Mhm.
right? And he gets to 2 finals and loses. Is his number getting retired?
He gets them to 2 finals and they don't win after the Jordan era?
Correct.
No, I don't think so.
Right? Like
I think
so-
it's the team. The team will
Yeah,
decide, right?
right. If you're
Yes.
really bad team,
He
you're a
brought
really good player.
he brought
The
basketball back to life in New Jersey. He
Correct.
really did.
I think
He was. I can't. You know,
I
I've
agree.
never been a big Jason Kidd fan, but during that era, he was amazing.
I
He
agree.
was amazing.
But they weren't favored. They didn't. Would they win 2 games in the finals? 3 games in the? I mean, like they had
lost-
no shot at winning.
They got swept by the Lakers, right? And they lost in 6 to the Spurs.
6 or
That
5.
team was terrible before he got there, I think.
Agreed.
He carried that team.
That team had nobody. They had Scalabrine and the A Train, Aaron Williams, the A Train. They didn't really have a lot of good players on that team.
No. And he coached
I mean,
them.
and arguably, and this is again, I'm totally going off on a tangent now. Arguably, the best net team of all time was the Darryl Dawkins, Buck Williams, Albert King, Otis Birdsong, Michael Ray Richardson, Mike Jaminski. That team was tremendous. They beat the Sixers championship team, right? But they went up against the Bucks, who had Bob Lanier and Junior Bridgman and Sidney Moncrief. That was a good Buck
That was
team.
a really good Bucks
Yeah,
team.
and they lost a really tough series. But then after that, Michael Ray Richardson had the drug binge, and that was it. That whole he was at the time, he was a guy who was equated to Magic Johnson, but he had the skills to be that, but of course he had the drug addiction.
What about Mike? Your
But
team?
here's my question. So my question, they didn't. Michael Ray Richardson's not retired. No, right?
No. The only guy on that team is Buck Williams. That's retired.
Okay.
But
Not-
Mike, for your team,
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett,
Absolutely disagree with that. He should not be retired, I don't think.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, yes.
Yes, long career.
Played a ton there.
But
He's
he
in the
wasn't
NBA.
even like the third best player on the team that won the championship.
He
Was
was
he?
he was on that team through thick and thin.
So
And
just longevity.
I think he gets longevity plus that title in 2008 because he was excellent in that playoff series. He was he really battled with Kobe Bryant. Like he went toe to toe with Kobe Bryant and was a big game player. Paul Pierce. He was very good in the playoffs.
Okay.
But I think Kevin Garnett as a leader, I think that was one of the things, right? They brought him in, they brought Ray Allen in, that big three, and he was viewed as the vocal leader of that team, got them a title. That was their first title.
They have to be running out of retired numbers, the Celtics. I mean,
They do have a lot, but
Yeah.
he only played 6 seasons in Boston. Brian,
And
you
they only
mentioned
had the
right
one-
there is winning a title. I didn't think Kevin Garnett did enough as a Celtic because to me,
I agree.
No,
Celtics
he's
the
a
gold-
Timberwolf. Like, see,
Yes.
I can see the Timberwolves
They
retiring
definitely
his
should.
number.
They
Agreed.
absolutely should.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the Celtics. I just don't think so.
What about Reggie Lewis, Mike?
I think that was because he died. Really, he was a very good player and
Yeah.
playing really well. And
Yeah, he was getting better too. He
Yeah,
was becoming like he was maturing as a player and getting better and better.
Yeah, but the others that are on the Celtics list, I mean, are all fantastic players.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Like
all of
no-brain
them.
Hall of
Kevin
Famers.
Garnett to me is the one that stands out. To be honest with you,
Yeah, agreed.
Let's look at these. Let's look at the smaller teams. So the teams with the rich history, they're going to have some players that are no brainers. Let's look at I don't know and
How about the Cleveland Cavaliers?
okay.
Ilgauskas.
Do they have Bingo Smith?
get out of here.
Bingo
Yeah.
Smith,
Wait,
yes.
They have Bingo Smith. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bingo Smith was their until LeBron came along. He was their greatest player.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Ilgauskas.
What?
Yeah.
Ah,
He's retired. Larry Nance, Mark Price, I would say.
Larry
yes.
Nance. Okay.
Yeah.
I like Mark Price. Yeah.
Austin
Great.
Carr, Nate Thurmond,
Austin Carr was great. Okay.
Brad
Nate,
Doherty.
Wait, Nate Thurmond. Yeah, Nate Thurmond had. Yeah, go if you ever go look at Nate Thurmond's stats. That guy, he was like a 20-20 guy. I mean, he was
Yeah.
crazy. That guy with
Wait,
rebounding.
Nate Thurmond only played 2 seasons in Cleveland, though.
Yeah, he's retired.
And he made their.
Do
Why?
you
He
think
averaged
they'll
5
retire
points a
Kyrie's
game.
number?
All I remember about Nate Thurmond was in basketball cards. He always had the most underarm hair of any person I've ever seen in my life. Every picture they had of him, like going for a rebound, like giant underarm hair.
What about-
question the Larry Nance one?
Will they retire Kyrie? I believe they will.
You think?
I think they will.
Got him a title, right? He hit
Yeah.
the game-winning shot, right?
So they'll
Will they
retire
retire
LeBron and
LeBron?
Kyrie. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely will
Yeah.
retire LeBron.
Well, especially if he goes back there next year, because I heard he's been hanging around Cleveland a lot lately.
Well, they say he's recruiting Donovan Mitchell to the Lakers.
Oh God,
Yeah.
are we? Oh God, I thought he
So
was buttering up Dan Gilbert to get a stake in the Cavaliers ownership group.
Okay, how about let's say
I think the Pistons are pretty legit who they retired.
It's only going to be those modern guys from the Bad Boys.
No, they have
Wayne Embry?
well, they did retire Chauncey Billups, who I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
you
I'm
got him into the
surprised
Hall
they're-
of Fame, Alex. You get
Yeah,
credit for
I'm
that.
telling you.
Alex has been on the Chauncey Billups Hall of Fame bandwagon
For years.
a very long time.
Ah.
Ryan and I always disagreed. We were like, I don't think so. He's a good player, but
So they have Ben Wallace, Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, Vinnie Johnson,
The microwave, huh?
10
Bob
seasons
Lanier,
and 2 titles.
Dave Bing, Rip Hamilton, and
Rip Hamilton.
and
Yeah,
Bill
I
Lambier.
Rip Hamilton.
Lambier, I see. I mean, obviously, Bing and Lanier were for like years. They were the only two good players they had.
Basically, that whole team, like Mike said, you have Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Vinnie Johnson, and Bill Lambier. That's like the starting
Rick
five.
Moore's like, when am I getting in?
Yeah.
How about the Miami Heat? Who do they have?
I'm gonna guess
Miami
that it's
Heat have
D-Wade,
Bosch and
Shaq,
D-Wade. Yeah.
Alonzo.
That's
Mourning.
it.
Well, Shaq is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Him being on that list. That's one of them that I, when I thought of this topic, I'm like, how many clubs have retired
Everybody.
Shaquille O'Neal's
Do
Does
they
number?
have Ronnie Cycli on that? No.
No. Alonzo Mourning,
Yeah.
which
Okay. How about wait?
they retired Michael
Tim Hardaway?
Jordan's, they retired Michael Jordan's number.
How about what?
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway?
Yeah, he's on there.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting. You
I
think
don't know why the
deserves
Heat
it, Bryan?
retired Michael Jordan, but I think that was when the whole push was, everybody should retire that number.
Only
But it
Bill
didn't
Russell
happen.
gets that honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure I get that either. Maybe I just don't know enough there, but
Jackie Robinson, I get.
right.
But I don't think I don't know.
Bill Russell. How about that?
Bill Russell, everybody. Yeah. Well, he was
He's retired across the league.
Yeah, but I don't get it.
most rings of all time.
You don't get Bill Russell?
Yeah.
Really?
Like why?
I think it is as much for his
Off the court?
his work for civil rights. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
I think that's what puts him over the top. Obviously, the basketball
change.
credentials are.
How about the
ridiculous,
Portland
right?
Trailblazers?
This, Bill
Yeah.
Walton,
Drexler, Walton.
Terry Porter.
No, they don't have Ted. Don't say
There's some guys I don't know. Dave Wartzik,
Dave Twardzik. Yeah, he was good.
Lionel Hollins,
Lionel Hollins. He was on
Larry
the championship
Steele.
team.
Good.
Who? Larry Steele.
Larry Steele.
He made the Hall of Fame.
No. He is
Retired his number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Porter's on the list.
Yeah, no, he was on their team. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. Lloyd Neal, some guy, Bill Walton.
Yeah, some kind of Bill Walton. Bill Walton was
Lucas.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucas.
Mo Lucas is he retired there too? So it's pretty much that whole team almost.
Yeah,
That's that whole team. Like a lot of those guys were all on that team. Twardzik was a really good ABA player that came over to the Trailblazers and played well, but that was towards his end of his career.
like I'm just going to say this team shouldn't have a single jersey retired. Sacramento Kings.
Weber.
They have Nate Archibald.
Oh yeah.
How
Well, he
long
was the
did he
Kansas
play?
City Omaha Kings. Yeah, that's why
right.
they weren't Sacramento. He didn't play Sacramento. He played for them when they
Kansas
were in the original Kings franchise. Yeah, I mean
Mitch Richmond.
Sam Lacey. Is Sam Lacey in there?
No, yes.
Yeah. Okay, he deserves to.
Bryan.
Vlade Divac. What? Like
Disagree.
you're a
Vlade
nice
Divac.
guy.
Well, you know what though? He was there for a long time. He was a really good ambassador. I don't know, and he also
Gets your
works in the
number
front office.
retired?
He was the
He
GM.
Like,
he also works in the front office. They probably say, I don't know.
He got fired finally in the front office.
My criteria is similar to yours, Brian, right? Like 10 years on a team. You have to be on a team 10 years. I would also add, if you play for another team, it can't be for more than 3 years.
How about the Seattle Mariners? That's another one. I'm trying to look at obscure organizations that haven't won a championship.
Yeah,
right?
but I think the ones that have and they retire these crazy kooky numbers, they're just doing it for fans. Mariners only have two: Ken Griffey and Edgar Martinez.
No Ichiro.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hold on.
No, Ichiro.
Ichiro. We gotta get it.
Randy Johnson.
Ken Griffey, Edgar Martinez. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
List I have. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Ichiro's waiting.
Which to me that's legit, right? Like that's, hey, these were two great players,
Two Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
Both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Jay Buhner's not on that list. He played there forever and was a great player and everybody loved him. But, I don't know. To me, it's about, like Brian said, longevity. It's about statistically being excellent at what you do for, the majority of your career.
Here's an interesting. How about the Marlins? Because the Marlins won 2 championships. But who's really been there?
None. They don't have
no retired. Not Jeff Conine the Barbarian. Conine the Barbarian did not get his number retired.
Nope.
That's sad. See, now that's a problem. Like as a fan, that would annoy me. The guy was on both championship teams. He was a staple on their team. When
But
they
it,
had no superstars, he was the best player on that team.
but it almost seems like an organizational decision. Like we're not doing that, you know. And
Well,
the
because they had
person's
a lot
going
of
to be
great
out there.
players that left them high and
Yeah.
dry.
Well, they let them go.
Yeah, well, they
Too,
let him
right?
go.
They
Yeah, I
did that
mean,
whole restart every they'd win a championship and
if
then
you
they
ever think
quit
about
again.
all the if they had all the guys they had as young players, that would have been a dynasty.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
that's
think? Do you guys think all of the players that the Yankees have retired their number? Because several of players from the most recent dynasty have had their numbers retired. So Bernie Williams, Andy Pettitte, Mariano Rivera. That's a no-brainer. Paul O'Neill, Jorge Posada,
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
yeah.
Do you think
So
all of those?
Yeah.
O'Neill and Posada are borderline for me. I
Mm-hmm,
love them both.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they should be retired. Like, I mean, again, they have so many. So the catchers they have retired. They have Elston Howard, Bill Dickey, Yogi Berra, Thurman Munson. Right? Those are four. Those are
Jorge,
no
Jorge.
Posada is not as good as any of those. Right? So now you have
Yeah. I mean, statistically, or
well, that doesn't matter as a player. No, he was not. Sorry, Alex. The stats are different now. But you couldn't stand him up if he was on the team with any of those players. He would not start. He would not start if Munson was a catcher. He would not start if Bill Dickey was a catcher. He would not start if Elston Howard was a catcher. He would not start over those guys.
I
Elston
don't.
Howard batted like 333 one time or something. Like, it's like
Mine would be Thurman Munson. I would like to look at those stats side by side.
no. What? See, but
Thurman Munson was a good clutch hitting catcher.
he was MVP.
Let's see. I'm going to pull it up.
So you are saying no, Alex, that he is the lesser of the catchers?
I'm
There's
saying
no
he,
way. There's no
he
way
should
to
be
me.
retired. I'm saying it should be retired.
There's no way that I love Posada. Posada was great. He was not the greatest. He wasn't the greatest defensive catcher around. Thurman Munson batted third. He was just like I don't know. To me, he was an MVP. Posada was never an MVP.
I
I
like
don't think he was
looking
even.
at
He was in, but Posada wasn't even top 5 in MVP voting ever.
I
No.
like looking at the Yankees list of retired numbers because to me, a team with that much history, I'm like they're going to be very discriminating in whose number they retire. But
Well,
they're
now they have, but
in
they
that
did for the
era.
longest time. They weren't probably
Yeah, but
because what Ruth
they're only
Gehrig,
moving around, right?
um,
Like, would they have?
Rizzuto,
Yeah, like
Mickey
oh
Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. There's so many players that
yeah,
they
classics. Yeah.
they're going to run out of numbers too, right? And Judge is going to get his retired. Judge is going to get retired. We know that it's going to happen. There's not. I doubt. I seriously doubt They probably put that into his contract.
Like I saw Paul O'Neill on the list, and I was like, Paul O'Neill retired by the
I mean,
Yankees.
well,
Yeah.
see, the thing is,
That was
yes,
organizational.
organizational.
Yeah, Steinbrenner loved him.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. He also is a very like you don't realize how good he was until you go back and look because he was he besides breaking the water coolers and stuff. The guy was a machine. He was always getting the clutch hits.
Yeah,
He was a great outfielder. He always played played through injuries. He was a constant guy in that lineup. But the thing is, on that team, you had so many other big name players that he didn't get that spotlight. But he was Paul O'Neill was an amazing, and he was great when he was on the Reds too. When he was like that trade with the Reds,
yes.
you think about it. They traded Roberto Kelly, who at the time was a good player. They got O'Neill. I think it was a good switch, and Kelly never ended up doing much after that. Like he had like one good year maybe after that. He was nothing. That was a smart deal by whoever made that trade. That was a great trade. It worked out great. But is O'Neill worthy of his number being retired? I don't know because you stack them up in the outfield there with the other. So then you have like Mickey Mantle, DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, and Paul O'Neill. Like that doesn't match. Like Reggie Jackson, Paul O'Neill. He doesn't fit with them.
Yeah, he won more champion. I mean, he was there longer and won more championships.
9 years, 4 championships.
Yeah.
Reggie
So to me,
Jackson,
that's why
5
baseball's
years.
different because baseball's to me is very localized and again, you're watching this player for 162 games each year. It's not like football where it's like 16 games and he may not play 2 or 3 of them. I just think with baseball, I think retiring numbers is different, and I don't know why. I've just always felt that way. I just feel like teams can do whatever they want, but in basketball, when you're being retired by multiple teams, it's like, what are we doing, right? Like, you're either great for a team or you're not, and name players that have been, have had career years for two different teams. It
Shaq's
just
getting
doesn't
his
happen.
number retired by everybody, right? The Magic, the Heat, the Lakers, right?
It's crazy.
Are the Celtics going to retire Shaq?
They may.
The Suns.
One
The
year.
Suns. Big fat Shaq.
The big Shaq.
He was really overweight when he was in the Suns.
The big Shaqtus.
Yeah.
That's what he went by.
I'll
Bernie
give you,
Williams is retired by the Yankees.
Yeah.
But Bernie, okay, so Bernie, I don't know. Bernie, I think he's an interesting guy in a lot of ways because I thought he was borderline Hall of Fame. I think he also is probably, if they had a Hall of Fame for playoff and World Series players, he would make it because he held a lot of, when he retired, didn't he still hold a lot of playoff and World Series records? Yeah, I know. I'm almost positive.
But again, more games.
Yeah,
right?
compiled.
Yeah,
Yeah, compiling.
And
he
more
was a clutch.
like there was more rounds.
Yeah, every big hit. There was a couple years there, clutch hit in the playoff game when Bernie Williams had a double up the gap. It was always Bernie Williams like getting that clutch hit. He was the man. The thing is, when he came up young, he wasn't as good as he was like, he kept on getting sent down a lot. He had some troubles when he was younger, coming up. And I think he was up a little bit before Jeter and all those guys, right? So he kind of was before they were there, but he wasn't a star until they all got there. And I think maybe that's the reason why people don't realize that. But I'm telling you, that guy was as good as any of the core four there.
Let me throw an over under at you, and I'm going to give you a team, and you tell me if you think they're over or under that number for retired jerseys. Ready? Oakland Raiders 5.
Under.
Over.
Under. They have no retired numbers.
None. Not Stabler.
Ray Guy.
None.
Ray Guy. Yeah, Ray Guy. Actually, Ray Guy should.
He's in the Hall of
Under,
Fame.
Bryan.
What about Seattle Seahawks? Over under 4 players.
Under.
Jim Zorn, Largent. So I'm saying 4. 4. I'm gonna say exactly 4. Yeah.
There's 4, but one is the number 12 for fans.
The fans. Yes.
But it's Steve Largent, Cortez Kennedy, and Walter Jones. That's it.
Wait, not Steve Zorn?
No.
Jim
Zorn,
Zorn.
I'm sorry.
Jim Zorn. Yeah.
Wait, who's the other guy you said? I know Cortez
Walter
Kennedy.
Jones.
Who's that?
I don't know. Number
He's a
7,
lineman, right?
Lineman.
Walter
Yeah.
Jones.
What about the Washington Redskins? Over under 5.
Over.
Over. I'd say over as well.
Under 1. Sammy Baugh. That's it.
Wait, not Doug
Riggins?
Williams.
That's
No
it.
Riggins?
Nope.
No.
Billy Kilmer?
Dexter
Monk?
Manley.
Art Monk, yeah.
How about your Jets, Bry? Over under 5.
I'm gonna say over.
I'll go under.
It's right at 5.
Because okay, so we have Namath and Maynard.
Yeah.
Name it. What?
Which the third one is a question mark for me.
Altoon.
No.
No.
Wait, Corbett?
No. Curtis Martin.
No, yeah, he doesn't. He
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
Right. Half his career was in New England.
How about Klecko?
Joe Klecko, yes, and Dennis Bird.
That's right. Yeah, because what happened to him. Yeah.
Terrible.
Giants have a ton.
But not Gastineau. See, that's another guy who doesn't get enough credit.
They don't like him.
They don't like him. Yeah.
That's a media thing,
I've got an interesting one for you. Taking a step back to basketball, college basketball, University of Kentucky retired the uniform numbers of 4 players that played on that 92 team that lost that buzzer beater to Christian Laettner and Duke. Because you'll remember that they had a scandal with Eddie Sutton prior to that. And then Rick Pitino took over and turned them around almost instantly. So 4 players on that team, they stuck with the team. Like everyone just left when they got put on probation, but these guys stuck around. So Darren Feldhouse, none of these are like great players. Darren Feldhouse, John Pelfrey, Richie Farmer, and Sean Woods all had their uniform numbers retired. And that was like Patino pushed for that because he said these guys kind of resurrected the program. And you'll recall from that point forward, they just took off for what,
Yeah.
20 odd years. So that was actually
Pelfrey
kind
and
of like,
Farmer
ooh.
were good. I don't remember the other two guys.
Yeah, Pelfrey was pretty good. I remember him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sean Woods hit the shot right before Leitner's. Richie Farmer was a local guy. I think Richie Farmer and Darren Feldhouse were both from Kentucky, so they were just kind of role players. But
that's another interesting criteria, right? Like they carried the program when they were on probation. So that's
stuck around, stuck it out, and kind of helped with the resurrection of the program. Kind of like the Ed Kranepool thing, right? Like he was there with the team in the beginning through those lean years and kind of
Yeah. And again, I'm not even a Mets fan, but you got it. Like he was the guy. Like for so many years, he was their like staple guy. He was always there. And then when and then during the end of his career, he was a really, really good pinch hitter. He was actually a tremendous pinch hitter.
But
now,
I think
how about the Dodgers? Did the Dodgers probably now? Obviously Jackie Robinson, but the Dodgers probably have a ton also, right?
Yeah, Manny Mota,
of
course. Steve Yeager.
No, I don't
Garvey,
think they don't have Steve.
Say.
I bet you Garvey is. I bet you Say is.
You think Ron Say? I think
the
Garvey.
Penguin.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have.
That's nickname.
They don't have that. They have Pee Wee Reese.
Yeah. Okay.
Tommy Lasorda, Duke Schneider, obviously. Jim Gillian.
Okay.
Don Sutton, who was a total compiler.
Yeah.
Walter Alston. Sandy Koufax, Fernando Venezuela makes sense. Roy Campanella makes sense. Jackie Robinson, of course. Don Drysdale.
Yeah. Fernando Valenzuela, huh?
Yeah. Come on now. What he did to baseball. And now here's my question. The Tigers didn't retire Mark Fidrich, did they?
No way.
Yeah, I know.
No way, right?
Let me see.
So Fernando Valenzuela, was that as much for his contributions?
He was also an amazing pitcher. He was an amazing pitcher. There, that one stretch, he had the whole nation watching his games, right?
Yeah.
You might remember we talked about Linsanity. I know I know definitely the Knicks have not retired Jeremy Lin's jersey, but Fernando Mania was even more than Linsanity at that time. Like everybody, like it was a must see TV when he was pitching. They would televise pretty much every time he pitched.
And he did it as a rookie. I mean, he was phenomenal.
19, 20 years. Yeah, I'm just looking at his stats now.
Here's another guy who didn't take care of himself very well.
Yeah,
he wasn't the healthiest of men.
You know who surprises me that's retired on the Tigers list is Jack Morris. We talked about him last.
Yeah.
He's not?
He is retired.
Oh, he should be.
He was there for he was there for the 84 World Series.
Yeah. Right. And then gone. But wasn't what's his name on that team too? Gibson? He's not retired by them.
Yes.
No, Bob Gibson's Cardinals.
No,
Kurt Gibson.
Kurt
Gibson.
Bob Gibson.
What about Chet Lemon? Is his name?
Yeah, Chet Lemon.
Chet Bitter Lemon. Yeah, that was
he was a good player. You know what? Chet Lemon was a darn good player for a long time, but he was not. Yeah, he's not.
And he came in every pack of baseball.
Yeah.
For like 3 years. It was always Chet Lemon. Always.
I used to get Tim Tuffle all the time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's a good topic to debate because I think again it's subjective. It's like the Hall of Fame stuff, but some of these guys, it's just like, and I know like Jeff Van Gundy would go to the mat for Yao Ming, but come on, give me a break.
No way.
Like that's
Yao
guys
Ming
like that, and
so
Shaq on the Heat.
Who else is on the Rockets? So let's intro. How about the Rockets? So they have Elijah Wan and Sampson, right?
I think they have Moses Malone, which to me is like, Rudy Tomjanovich, Calvin Murphy, Clyde Drexler. Yao Ming, and Bill Russell.
Wait, Clyde Drexler was retired by the Rockets?
Yes.
He should be for the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep.
He won titles with the Rockets, right? He was on those title-winning teams.
Yeah, but he was okay.
You know why, Brian? Another reason for Clyde Drexler, he went to the University of Houston. Probably that's probably why he got into.
Yeah, And he went there, right? Like he got them over the top too. Like he was the second star to go there. And that's probably like,
Yeah.
hey, look, we take care of our stars when they come here. So trying to get more stars or something. I don't know. But
No Vernon Maxwell, though.
no,
Or Charles Barkley.
no.
Yeah, he was Charles. Yeah, no, Charles Barkley.
I wonder if the Suns retired Charles Barkley.
Ooh,
They
that's
should.
an interesting one. Yeah, he got them to the finals, won an MVP.
Paul
Yeah,
Westphal.
yeah, they did. They did.
Okay, who else? Who else do they have? Paul
Kevin
Westphal. Tom
Johnson.
Chambers. Is Tom Chambers retired?
No way.
Kevin
He
Johnson?
is. He is. Tom Chambers.
Tom Chambers
is.
was a darn good player.
Yeah,
Another
but-
borderline. I think Tom Chambers has a very legitimate shot to be in. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not.
Did the Sonics retire his number?
No, I don't. Oh, I don't know.
So it's Connie Hawkins, Charles
Yeah.
Barkley, Alvin Adams, Tom
Yep.
Chambers, Steve Nash, Thunder Dan Marley. Again, another questionable one for me.
No.
Kevin Johnson,
Yeah.
Walter Davis, Dick Van Artsel.
Dick Van Arsdale. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
But Charles Barkley, the Sixers and the Suns retired his number, and I don't think that should be allowed. You should only
Dick
in
Van
my
Ar-
criteria, only one team can.
Dick Van Arsdale was a twin. His brother played Tom Van Arsdale. I think he played on the Kings, but he wasn't as good as his brother. Like the brother was not as good as him.
Kind of like the Lopez.
The one on the Suns was always when you get when you're talking about cards, like when you get your pack of cards, the one on the Suns was a much better player than the other one.
Well,
You'd always say like, "Oh, I got the bad one." I don't think I ever saw either of them ever play a game. I just saw the cards.
How about the Seattle Sonics / Oklahoma City Thunder? This is an interesting list.
Let's see. Now the Sonics. Oh wow. So Paul Silas, Gus Williams, Sigma,
Gus Williams, yes.
Detlef Schrempf.
No
No.
Detlef Schrempf.
Ooh.
Gus Williams, yes, and
Freddie Brown.
Freddie Brown,
Yes.
yes.
Jack Sigma, yes.
Yeah, Sigma better be. Not Paul Silas.
No.
No.
Ooh.
One's a coach. A coach now. He played for them, but he's a coach now. Played for the Sonics.
He was a coach forever.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
Oh, there's two coaches. Yeah.
Wait, give me a hint. Wait, I don't know.
One coached very recently, and one coached the Knicks, and won the most games ever. I think.
Oh my God, he coached the Knicks. That's right. That revolving door. Yeah, all-time winningest coach.
Yeah,
Is he still? I don't even know.
I think so.
George
I don't know.
Carl.
No,
No. Wait, who
Lenny
else?
Wilkins
Lenny Wilkins.
Oh, Lenny Wilkins. Yeah, he was a great player. He was a Sonic. You're right.
and Nate McMillan.
Nate McMillan's retired.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, he's a coach.
No, I think he's retired as a player. He played for the Sonics for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As a player.
No,
And
but
then-
okay, Lenny Wilkins deserves. Yeah, I mean, he was Lenny Wilkins Hall of Famer. So.
And Spencer Haywood. What?
Oh, Spencer Haywood was great. No, Spencer Haywood was great. No.
Great?
He deserves it. He was great. Go look at his stats, and maybe not all for the Sonics. When he was on Denver, I think he won a championship with one team. Spencer Haywood was a great player.
And then the Thunder have one retired player in that pool.
The Thunder.
Yep.
I don't know who.
Nick Collison, baby. Come on.
No.
Yeah, 14 seasons. He was
Wait. You're telling me the truth? Nick
Yeah.
Collision. Yeah, he got his number.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad for him. That's good.
Yeah, because remember he was in Seattle, and then
Yes,
when he
yes.
moved to Oklahoma City, I think he was kind of like a
He was a
core
staple on
guy.
that team for
Yeah.
so long.
He actually still works for the Thunder. He's an amateur scout for the Thunder, so he
Okay.
played 14 seasons.
They retired his number. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
5.9
Spencer-
points, 5.2 rebounds per game, 910 games.
Let's get back to Spencer Haywood. He played 5 seasons for Seattle.
Okay.
Okay.
Great stats, though.
And
Holy
one-
moly.
One of those seasons, he played 33 games.
Who's he? Kristaps Porzingis?
I don't know how this number's retired, Bry. He played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Well, you got to look at his ABA stats because
6,
he had
7.
he had
6
one.
different
There was
teams.
one year in the ABA, man. He was like amazing. They won his team won a championship. I forget what team he was on, but he was
He played 326 games for Seattle, and he averaged nothing. 21. I'm trying to find what am I looking at here? Oh, 25 points per game. So that's pretty good.
I'm telling you, he was a good player, Spencer Haywood.
Yeah,
but
to
yeah,
have
yeah,
his
he
number
wasn't on this.
retired?
He wasn't on their team for that. Like, I mean, yeah.
Well,
5 years. 5 years does not deserve to be retired.
There must be some other reasons why he got. Maybe he was
All
stayed
right.
with the organization or something.
I have to ask you, Bryan, when this dynastic run of the Warriors ends, which players from the Warrior teams will have their numbers retired?
Well, obviously Curry, but I think Clay deserves it too. And I'm Draymond. I'm gonna. He might have to be.
Yeah, I think those three guys.
Yeah, but no one else. No one else. Not Iguodala. Even though I like Iguodala, not retired. No, I don't think he deserves to be retired. Number retired.
Yeah, those three guys were with him.
Not Kevin Looney. Not Kevin Looney. No, it's not.
What about Kevin Durant?
No.
That's a good one, Mike.
Not the Brazilian Blur. No, none of those people.
Leandro Barbosa.
Barbosa. You think about that. That guy, he was he's still playing in some league. I heard somebody was saying that recently. He's playing in some Brazilian basketball league still.
That guy scored all the time.
What a great guy to come off your bench. Except for he played no defense, but he could score anytime. It didn't matter. He was just amazing. They needed some kind of a pick me up. They bring that guy in, the Brazilian Blur. Yeah, but he still should not get his number retired. I'm sorry. But Mullins is retired, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
Rick Barry, Mullen. I mean, Nate Thurman probably on the Warriors too. But I can't believe on the Cavaliers. Nate Thurman on the Cavaliers.
The Atlanta Hawks retired Pete Maravich.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long was he with the Hawks?
4 years.
That's the Hawks. Who else did the Hawks retire? Dominique Wilkins?
Doc Rivers?
No.
Bob Pettit, Dominique Wilkins,
Dan Roundfield,
Lou Hudson, Tree Rollins.
No. Tree Rollins? No.
Jason Collier, Pete Maravich, and
Jason Collier?
Yep, and Dikembe Mutombo.
Mutombo, okay.
Yeah.
Not Spud Webb, huh?
But how many teams retired Dikembe's number? Because I guarantee
Denver.
The Sixers did.
Denver should, because he led them to that upset of the
Jazz.
Yeah,
Denver did retire his number.
Yeah. Carmelo's gonna be so pissed when they don't retire his number.
I know.
He's like,
you get the sense
he's gonna go. Really Nick Collison got his retired, and I didn't get mine.
Exactly.
Wow, the Sixers didn't retire his number.
Didn't retire Mutombo's?
No, I don't think he was there long enough.
He was there. They traded for him the year they went to the finals.
He was not really. I mean, he was nowhere near that. He was a shell of the old Mutombo. He wasn't like when he was on the Hawks and even the Nuggets. He was amazing. Like a defensive player, he was a dominating force. When he was on the Sixers, he was still really good, but he was not. He was kind of getting old. Yeah. So I don't think he deserves it. Now Iverson's is retired, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has to be. He's fantastic.
Yeah. Mike's favorite player.
He was awesome, man.
But they got Moses. They got a lot of good guys. Moses,
Dr. J,
Allen Iverson,
Bobby
Dolph
Jones.
Shays, Dr. J, Mo Cheeks, Wilt Chamberlain, Hal Greer, Bobby Jones, Billy Cunningham, and the round mound of rebound, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, those are all good.
They're legit. They're legit. I don't have.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys feel about number being retired by two different teams?
It depends on how long of a career they had.
Dikembe Mutombo.
If they played 20 years, yeah, I mean that could happen. If it could happen. Depends on what they did, you know.
Yeah. But Shaq getting his number retired in Miami, that's weird.
Well, I think. Well, I don't know why they retired Jordan's, but I think Pat Riley's just retiring numbers to get players to come there and say, "I'll retire your number someday."
Eat culture.
You know? Yeah. So I don't know. Basketball seems the sketchiest to me. Football's tough. I mean,
Football's tough because you have 40 something players. So if you have so many numbers, you run out of number. I mean, if you have numbers retired, you run out of numbers really quick
Yeah.
because you don't. They're never going to have 3 digits. So
Well,
you can't have like who's
yeah.
number one. It's like rollerball or something where they have like all those extra numbers. There's no way that would ever work. You can't have
The
Sort of
listen to this
symbols.
run, right? The Ravens, no numbers retired. The Buffalo Bills have one. Who do you think it is?
O.J. Simpson.
No.
Oh.
I
Well,
would-
he had to be. No, I guarantee you they took it
Kelly.
away.
It's gotta be
He
Jim
was
Kelly.
at when he retired. They had to retire his number.
Jim
Jim
Kelly.
Kelly.
Jim Kelly. Yeah, I think OJ's was. I think they took it away after he did all
Carolina
this.
Panthers, one. Who is it? It's a
Carolina
tough one.
Panthers have
Linebacker.
what's his name?
Sam.
The small guy.
Sam Mills.
Yeah, Sam Mills.
Oh yeah, Sam. Mills.
But no, but see, now he should be retired. See, I think he should be retired by New Orleans.
Yeah,
Though.
the Saints.
Yeah,
Let's see. Let me see if he
Ricky
is.
Jackson was like amazing on the Saints.
Drew
Um,
Brees.
Drew
He's
Brees.
the Saints did not retire his number.
Who was
the-
Brees?
How about Dan Abramowitz?
The Saints have two numbers retired, and I don't know who either guy is.
It's not Dempsey the kicker.
No. And it's not Archie Manning.
Danny Abramowitz? No.
Jim Taylor and Doug Atkins. Jim Taylor was number 31, so maybe a defensive back. Doug Atkins, 81.
Doug Atkins. Like
I don't
Jim
know.
Kelly.
Yeah, who would he? That's all the Saints have retired.
Yep. Two guys.
Hmm.
How about the Steelers only have two? Who do you think
What?
they have?
The Steelers.
Bradshaw and
Nope.
Mean Joe
Nope.
Green,
Mean Joe Green,
Franco
yes.
Harris.
Franco Harris.
No, the other guy you won't know. Ernie Stoutner.
I have no idea. Who
That's
that
it.
is.
Like, how do they decide these things?
Wait, Mean Joe Green. You said was the other one.
Yeah, Joe Green and Ernie
Henry
Statner.
Bradshaw doesn't.
Rocky Blyer. I mean, like
Franco Harris. Wow. Lynn Swan. Wow.
Yeah, Jack Ham, Jack Lambert. I mean, they had tons.
none of them are retired.
No,
Wow. The Steelers
How about the
have-
Chicago Bears?
they have a
Oh, the
ton.
Bears have a bunch. Yeah.
They have a ton.
Dick Butkus.
It's Butkus, Gail Sayers.
Mike Ditka, Brian Piccolo.
They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They may have the
George
most.
Hallis. They have the
Walter
most
Payton.
in the NFL.
Yeah, Mike Ditka, Red Grange, Bulldog Turner, Bill George, Bill Hewitt, Dick Butkus, Sid Luckman, Brian Piccolo, Gail Sayers, Walter Payton, Willie Gallimore, George Hallis, and George McAfee.
Did you say
Wait,
Mike
none of the
Ditka?
guys.
Oh,
Not
and
many
Bron-
guys.
and-
From,
And Bronco Nagurski.
wait,
Michael
they don't have a lot of
Singletary.
players from the Peyton era.
No,
Just Singletary, right?
Walter Payton.
And Singletary.
Singletary
Interesting.
Singletary
Is
was on the list.
retired?
No,
Really?
What?
no.
Huh.
See this.
Fantastic.
So there's no. See, this goes back to we need a criteria. We need a criteria, guys.
Well,
This is
but-
not somebody's
but
got
I-
to somebody's got to sit around and say like, listen, guys, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. You can't do this kind of stuff.
But
You have
every like you said early on, every team's different, right? You have these markets that don't,
Right,
this
but
is-
some of them are just legitimately stupid ones. I mean, I just don't.
How many do you think the Broncos have retired?
The Broncos.
More or less than 7.
Less.
I'm gonna say more.
They have 2.
John Elway.
Randy Gradishar,
John Elway and Floyd Little.
Floyd Little, yeah, he was great.
And Frank Tripucka was retired, but they unretired it for Peyton Manning. I don't
Wait,
know how you do that.
so that's like Bill Dickey and Greg Nettles, or I mean, wait, who is
Yogi
wait
Berra, right?
Bill Dickey and
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra?
Yeah.
No, what was Greg Nettles and who? Somebody
Roger
had
Maris is
Roger Maris. Right?
Roger Maris, yeah.
Yeah.
But is Greg Nettles retired?
No.
I don't think he's retired.
But they let him play with it.
The Green Bay Packers, above or below 7?
I'm gonna go over.
Yeah, over 2.
They're under.
Under 7?
Tony Canadio,
I have no
Brett
idea.
Favre,
Starr.
Don Hudson, Bart Starr, Ray Nitschke, and Reggie White. That's
Yeah,
it.
I guess those guys make sense, right?
I think football keeps it a lot tighter. You know,
Yeah.
they're not retiring so many.
They'll retire Aaron Rodgers number one day.
That's a good trivia question. I wonder if any football player has their number retired across multiple teams.
Did the 49ers retire O.J. Simpson also? No, I don't think the Rams retired Joe Namath. I don't think the Chargers retired John Unitas. No, I don't. I mean, I don't. Football players don't get traded that much second, and
Well, Peyton Manning may get it because I think Indianapolis will retire his number if they haven't already, and Denver
Yeah.
may too.
I don't think Denver's in. Denver.
Oh,
wait,
there is one player, and we named him before.
There is a player that has a number retired by multiple teams.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it doesn't make sense what they're saying.
Sam Mills? No.
No,
It says Reggie White is the only player to have his number retired by two teams.
the Eagles.
It says the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. That doesn't make sense.
No, it's the Packers and the
That
Eagles
was a
probably.
typo. Yeah, there's a typo.
Yeah.
Fascinating. This is a fascinating topic. I can go on for hours about this stuff.
I know. Actually, we're almost at an hour, and we've only talked about this one topic, and we haven't even looked at hockey. And I was thinking, how about the Edmonton Oilers? I mean, I wonder how many they have.
Yeah, they could have a lot. Gretzky, Curry, Messier,
Fuhr.
Coffee, Fuhr.
But to me, if you think of those guys, you're like, yeah, good. It's the guys that don't deserve it that have me scratching my head.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Vince Carter. Vince Carter was a very good player for a very long time. He was great with Toronto, but then he got hurt, and he was never as good as a player from that point on. He actually became a better shooter as his career went on. If he had been as good as a shooter when he was younger, he would have been like phenomenal. But like when he first came in the league, he was just a dunker, but he was a great athlete. Didn't play defense, and then as his career went on, Vince Carter was actually a decent 3-point shooter, and he played really good defense, which is really interesting how he changed. He changed his game, so he stayed in the league a lot longer than he probably would have.
Yeah.
Um,
But you wonder with social media now, I know sounds corny, but like, I guess there's no way to do it. Maybe they could do it with season ticket holders or something, but like actually put it up for a vote, like should the Nets retire, the Brooklyn Nets retire Vince Carter's number before they ever retire it? What do you think of that?
I think, yeah, but see, then social media, then you have people voting who probably never saw the player play.
Right.
That's another thing that I don't like is when people vote for things and they've never seen nowadays with social media, you can get bots to do it and they have AI. So an AI will get it. No, you can't do that.
Yeah. What if it was season ticket holders, like some way that you knew, okay, hey, these are season ticket holders. We're going to create this little app that allows season ticket holders to come in and say yay or nay.
Season ticket holders from the years the guys played, because you couldn't do it from the current
true.
guys.
That's true.
No, this is a hard thing. It's a hard.
Yeah.
That's why there's always an argument with these votes.
Yeah.
But as far as a retired number is usually done by the front office, right? They sit down and they look through things and they make some judgments, and hopefully they're actually doing that. But they also, like you said, they might say, we want to bring some people in for a big event and make some money off of it. Let's get.
Well, that's clearly what the Nets are doing with Vince Carter, right?
Oh yeah, got to get people to Brooklyn somehow.
Yeah. And he never.
When you think of Vince Carter, do you think of the Vince Carter with a net jersey on?
Raptors. These are
Raptors. It's Raptors always.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he was another guy, like during the end of his career, he played wherever the money was.
Yeah, Hawks. He was everywhere. Played forever.
Yeah,
too,
he played on a lot of teams. But like Bryan said, he was a quality player. He could go in. I remember one year he's playing for somebody. I forget who it was, but they were going. I don't know if they were in the playoffs or they're making a playoff run, and a bunch of guys got hurt, and he came off the bench, and he was just like,
he was amazing
for a couple weeks, right?
No, he was, that's what I'm saying. He changed the way he played basketball. As like he wanted to stay in the league. He was a good athlete. He said, hey, I can't dunk like I used to. I can't do these kind of things. I wasn't a good shooter. Let me become a good shooter. Hey, guess what? I can shoot threes. And you know what? I'm going to make myself a good defensive player. And he became a very good defensive player at the end of his career, which during his beginning of his career he was not. He just because he didn't care. He could care less about defense. It's a it's a very interesting dynamic how he changes his game. And I've actually heard somebody talk about that a lot, which was pretty cool.
It's a great
Not
coach.
everybody does that. Like, there's not
Yeah,
a lot of players that as they get older on in life, they can't do that. They can't make those changes, even though the skills are dwindling or something happened. They had an injury. They can't make those changes and change what they do. He did, and he
do you
stayed in the
think
league for a
Brooklyn?
long time. He stayed in the league for a long time.
Over 20 years.
Yeah. Do you think Brooklyn did it because nobody's retired his number yet? The Raptors haven't retired. Well, that's the other thing. Like, should you wait a certain amount of years?
And he's not a Brooklyn net anyway. He's a New Jersey net.
Did he get into the
Right.
Hall? He just got into the Hall of Fame recently, Vince Carter, right?
Yeah, which I agree.
Yeah,
He deserves. He should have got in. I'm not saying he shouldn't have got in,
No, yeah.
but it's as a net.
I
I
mean,
think they did it because he got in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, I think exactly. That's what I was going to say. I think the Nets just jumped on it when he got into the Hall of Fame. I think the Raptors should be the ones retiring his number. I mean, because he was there for the early years of that franchise, got them to at least a second round playoff series, as I remember. Right?
Was the
They were
star
an
on the
exciting.
team?
It was him and Tracy McGrady. It was an exciting team.
Yeah.
Really exciting team.
So and Tracy McGrady actually introduced him into the Hall of Fame. But that's another guy who I don't believe should be in the Hall of Fame. But anyway, that's another whole story.
Toronto Raptors have no numbers retired, except for Bill Russell, number 6.
Interesting.
I mean, they haven't been around long enough.
But they won a championship.
Yeah, but none of those guys are still all playing.
OG is going to get in eventually.
All those guys are gone, right? They rented Kawhi
Kyle
Leonard.
Lowry will probably make it there. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Again, obviously, we're not. Our logic doesn't always work because we're still shocked by some of these people that they have their number retired.
Well, good for them, right? Whatever they did, they got their number retired, and good for them.
Pretty
It's
cool.
not us to poo-poo them, but some of them are head scratchers for sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
But
Mike, did you get your number retired?
I didn't. I think I should
Montclair,
because
no?
I was one of those like Kentucky guys, right? I was there when the program stunk. They won 3 games before my freshman year. My freshman year was with a new coach, brand new team, and by my junior and senior year, we were nationally ranked and made it to 2 consecutive NCAA tournaments. And there were only 3 of us that were with the program for those 4 years. Guys would come in and quit after a year or something. So although my
Really?
stats were not significant, the contribution to the program was
it
significant.
was the heart, Mike. It was the heart.
Yeah, I mean, if Nick Collision made it, you should have made it then.
That's kind of what I was like. I was more like a Nick Collison guy than a Carmelo Anthony guy looking for his number to be retired. So,
Yeah, well, no, Melo should not be retired. I'm sorry, definitely not from the Knicks. He
How
did
about
nothing
Jeff
for the Knicks.
Hornacek? Jeff Hornacek for the Utah Jazz, the number retired.
He played a long time there, didn't he?
I think it's him.
He was big in the community there too. They loved him.
Yeah.
They loved him.
Yeah.
But he was also a reason why sometimes they didn't win the championship because he couldn't cover people.
Yeah.
You couldn't go with a Stockton Hornacek backcourt. It just didn't work. And they had Byron Russell for a while, but again, he was after Jordan did that to him, his career was shot too. That was a very it's a very interesting. That might be another good topic, guys, for us down the road. Is failed teams like these super teams that were so good. What were their flaws and why they couldn't? What was the flaw that the Jazz couldn't win? It wasn't just because of Michael Jordan. It's just they refused to change their lineup. They figured they could win with the Hornacek and Stockton backcourt. It wasn't going to work. Every game they got clobbered by other guards all the time.
Yeah.
And that was again, Malone was Malone, but they also always had a bad center. They figured they could live with the Mark Eatons of the world or the Greg Ostertags.
Mark Eaton's number is retired by the Jazz.
No way.
Yep.
I think he died. I wonder if it was after he died or before.
Mark
Are you
Eaton
kidding
died.
me?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. It's
Now,
retired.
do wrestlers get their number retired? What happened? Like does Andre the Giant? What does
They
he get
don't
their?
have numbers. They don't have numbers.
Yeah,
It's a numbers. Wait.
his underwear. I mean, like I don't know. Like,
Uh,
what do you? How do you? Yeah, they should probably put a plaque up or something like that. Okay, that's yeah, but I just I don't know. I'm just, I'm getting I'm getting a little perturbed with this. I think there's just a lot of people that shouldn't have their number retired that are. It's just.
Yeah.
But again,
we need a part 2 to this episode.
no, yeah, I know what it's. No, I think I want to hear what people say. I actually want to hear what our listeners have to say because this is a topic that could go viral. Um, there's just a lot of players that don't deserve to have their number retired. Now, if those players heard us say that, they probably wouldn't be too happy. They'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing, man? I got my number
Well,
retired."
I'll put it out tonight on Threads about our criteria. So if we had foundational criteria, it would be you have to play with the team for at least 10 years, right?
Yes.
You have to have contributed in a
Is
significant way.
significant success,
In significant
because
success.
a championship helps, but it doesn't have to be like the Ernie Banks thing. Is to me is like,
Right.
hey, the Cubs just were never going to win, right? But he was amazing, so you can't fault the guy for that, right? Like, that's whatever. There's nothing you could do about. There's nothing you could do about the guys who play on teams that are just not good. So Mike Trout, should he get his number retired by the Angels? It's interesting, right? We talked about Trout a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Trout,
But
end of the year he retires. Are they having a ceremony for him?
They will. They will.
I think because it's the Angels, they will. If he was a
Yankee
or something,
no.
probably not.
But we're also going to say you can't have your number retired by multiple teams, right?
Only in
rare.
special rare circumstances.
Rare.
It has to be a very long career because you have to meet this other criteria. So if you play 10 years on two teams, yeah, you can.
Okay.
Right? You can.
And then, or if you have, there's some tragedy, right? They can retire a number.
Poor Jason Kidd is going to get excluded by your 10-year requirement from the Nets.
But then, see,
he should.
Well, he's not. The Mavericks haven't retired his number, have they?
No, but you know what, Brian? They may because he won a title there.
Yeah, I know.
They
wouldn't have won without him.
No, that's the thing.
No, they would not have won without him. He it's almost like he had that one shot. That was it. Like he just willed his whole life because he was at that point he was getting bad, and then that year he kind of rejuvenated himself a lot. He made that team work. He organized them, and he changed the way his game was. Another guy who changed his game a little bit because he wasn't as fast as he used to be, and that helped them. That's why they won. That was a big upset. You think about this now. You look at that lineup on the Heat, and you look at that Maverick lineup, and you're like, "There's no way that they should have won that championship." Right? Sean Marion versus Chris Bosh, LeBron James versus Dirk. I'm sorry, Dirk was getting old. Dirk was great, but and then you have Dwayne Wade. Who matches up with Dwayne Wade? Jason Kidd. I just can't. You can't really. That always baffles me. And again, I love that. That was and wait, did they have who else was on that Heat team?
The Heat team? I'll tell you, Udonis Haslem was on that team.
Yeah, Haslem was good.
Chalmers on that team?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Chalmers.
I think Chalmers was on that team.
Yeah, Bosh, right. Wade, LeBron, and Ray Allen, right?
Oh, Ray Allen was on that team too?
I think so.
There's no way that the Mavericks should have beat them.
2011. Yeah, because Ray Allen, I think, left after 2010.
There's no way the Mavericks should have beat them that game. That series. No way. You look at that now. It's just because what it was
for another day, right?
No, it is. Yeah, and the story there is good team basketball usually comes out ahead even of the stars. It does sometimes. It's not that's what the coaches always try to tell you.
Yeah.
It's Thibodeau. The Thibodeau situation, right? Thibodeau's team plays good basketball. There's no real superstar in that team. Again, I know Brunson is becoming one, but he's not a high draft pick. There's no big superstar on that team, but they play good basketball. I think I've heard the story is Thibodeau's teams practice 3 hours, 3 hours a day in the gym, and a lot of players don't like that. But all the guys on their team, because they're not all high draft picks, none of them are prima donnas, so they don't mind practicing 3 hours. That's an interesting thing, and I always think how the Knicks, if the Knicks are going to get to the next level, are they going to ever be able to get a superstar that's going to come in and deviate from that whole system?
They have a superstar.
But he's a work pail superstar.
That's okay.
So was Michael Jordan, right? Right, Michael Jordan was he wanted to practice 4 hours, 3 hours. That's not enough.
Right.
I mean, Curry's the same way. Curry practices like crazy. He'll practice. He closes the gym. Like those are the guys that there's a reason why they become successful. Even LeBron, you can say what you want about LeBron. LeBron is every day doing something. He's probably the first guy in the gym and the last guy to leave. He is. He's working out. He's doing things. He's exercising. He's taking care of his body. And we were talking about some of those players that we're talking. There's a lot of players that have their numbers retired that I bet you if they had taken care of their body and done things, they would have lasted longer too. Mm-hmm. But anyway, okay, we've totally belabored this. But I have to tell you, Alex, this was a wonderful topic. I think this is great. We could talk about this for hours, and I love the fact that we kind of got riled up. All of us kind of had like our issues along the way, and there's things that bother us, and that's what this kind of good sports talk is. I love this. This is a great episode.
On Threads or Facebook, 3 The Hard Way Sports, send us who you think shouldn't have their number retired.
Yes.
But does.
Yep. Let's do that. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this topic. I know as much as we did, because as you can tell, we love this. And this is great. And take care.
See you. Have a great night.
This is Tom Carvel. Thank you for listening to 3 The Hard Way Sports Podcast. Remember to get a Fudgy the Whale or Cookie Puss for the next time you're sitting down to watch the big game.